Dear Noble Community, today is the 24th of December, the year 2016, and we are in the Festival of Stars Meditation Hall in Lower Hamlet for our Christmas Eve Dharma talk during our winter retreat. For many people, Christmas is a special time of year. For Christians and those practicing the teachings of Jesus, it is a time of great happiness, joy, and celebration. For we remember the birth of Jesus more than 2,000 years ago. Traditionally, Christmas is also a time for coming home. For some of us, it is also a special time because we bring trees into our home as special guests. They are important to us, of course, when they live outside, but at Christmas, their presence inside our house takes on a very new dimension. We decorate them with many colorful lights, with ornaments, with cards, banners, garlands, ribbons, stars, beads, and whatever else we think is beautiful. The other day I was wondering, how would I feel if I were a Christmas tree with all of the decorations on me? And then I thought, well, a tree comes from the earth. She is part of the earth. And the earth accepts everything. She absorbs everything. She's patient, she's kind. And for that reason, I thought maybe the Christmas trees are accepting the decorations we put on them. In New Hamlet, and perhaps in other hamlets, our Christmas trees live in boxes. We take them out of their box before Christmas, and after the New Year, we put them back in their boxes. We have these kinds of Christmas trees so that we don't have to cut down any living tree, and so that we can protect the forests and all forms of life. And I see here in Lower Hamlet, your trees also live in boxes. Yep. The rooms in our houses have fragrant wreaths on the walls and the doors. And these are made from the branches of cedar and pine trees and pine cones. There are tiny lights on the walls and blinking colorful lights in the windows that have a rhythm of on-off that suggests they are moving. In December, it is often very rainy and cold, yet there is warmth at this time of year. We discover that our happiness can come from very small moments. For example, when we go outside, we know that we can come back inside, and then it will be warm. Maybe there is a fire in the chimney or in the wood stove, and it's wonderful to come back in and get warm again by sitting down and enjoying a cup of hot tea with friends. We can speak of our physical home, where we live, as well as our spiritual home. At Plum Village, we invite you to consider us as your spiritual home. During this week of Christmas, we will be able to live together as a spiritual family, living mindfully and happily, and living peacefully, creating warmth and friendship just by being together. In this aspect, Christmas in the West is very similar to Tet, the Vietnamese or Lunar New Year, which is also the Chinese New Year. It's a time to value our relationships. For us as practitioners, coming home also means coming home to ourself, gently bringing our mind back to our body with the practices of mindful breathing and mindful walking, and being aware of what is unfolding and happening in us and around us in the present moment. So we know that mindfulness is an energy that is always with us, always available to us. We can say mindfulness is at home with us. The seed of mindfulness is always present in our store consciousness, the alaya consciousness. It is there, it is reliable, and it will stay there. It will stay with us. But sometimes we forget it is there. During these moments, when we forget about the seed of mindfulness in our store consciousness, we may live and act from forgetfulness. Thai has described this living and acting from forgetfulness as being in the state where no one is at home. We are forgetful, so no one is at home. And many years ago, Thai gave some teachings on no one's at home. It's as if there's a temple and there's no abbot or abbess. It's deserted. So when we are forgetful and no one's at home in our mind, there's nothing to let us know what is happening in us and around us. And who is knocking at the door of our mind? When no one is at home, anything can enter and manifest in our mind consciousness. Negative thoughts can come in and settle down and stay. Critical thoughts can come in and claim their territory in our mind consciousness. And they stay and can create a habitual way of thinking. So when our mindfulness energy is not awake and active at its post, letting us know what is knocking at the door of our mind, demanding entrance, we lose our awareness of what is happening in us and around us. Maybe some suffering will settle down with repeated negative thoughts, because there is no mindfulness to help us recognize these thoughts and arrange for them to leave. When mindfulness is at home, it can also, in a very positive way, nourish and welcome all the kind and peaceful and loving thoughts to be able to visit and stay with us for as long as possible. Our mind can travel, and indeed it loves to go many places. It can travel to any country on the earth. It can be with whomever it chooses. It can jump to the stars, go to the past and the future very easily. And it can also rest in the present moment, but usually only very briefly. So the Buddha and Thai have given us practices that will help us develop our mindfulness energy. And as we stay with these practices longer and longer, for a longer period of time, concentration will develop. And then after our concentration is stronger, we will naturally have more understanding and insight. So, for example, with this simple practice of mindful breathing, we will help the mind find its true home, to be able to come home and rest and be one with the body in the present moment. When we develop this energy of mindfulness through mindful breathing, we will be able to create feelings of joy and happiness. And we will be able to live more in the present moment, where the wonders of life, happiness, and peace are available to us. Let us take a moment now to experience our mindful breathing as we listen to one sound of the bell. Listen, listen. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. We all want peace and happiness. Mammals, birds, reptiles, and fish want to live in a peaceful environment. They are more peaceful and happy in the wildlife habitats, the wildlife refuges, and the sanctuaries that have been created for them around the world, so they can relax more and feel safe and protected, surrounded by nature, knowing that no one will harm them there. It's very interesting that I discovered recently that in the 3rd century before Jesus was born in Sri Lanka, the king there, Devanampia Tissa, was deer hunting in the jungles. And it so happened that a monk who was an arahat by the name of Mahinda Thera, he saw the king hunting for deer. And he stopped the king. And he said, please allow all the living forms of life, the mammals, the birds, and all the other creatures, allow them to enjoy their life. They have an equal right to live on the land wherever they want. So after that, the king declared that the area around Nihintel, I'm sure I don't pronounce it correctly, but it's approximation, Sri Lanka, the king declared a sanctuary for all wildlife. And it was probably the first of its kind in the ancient world. And the king commanded the people not to harm animals or destroy trees within the area, thanks to a Buddhist monk. I think we all want to be able to live in an environment with security and peace, particularly now, because we learn of so much daily violence and killing. All we have to do is go to Google and read the news, or however you receive the news of what's happening. The Buddha taught that it is possible to have a place of refuge for ourselves each day, at any moment. And he described this place of refuge for us as the island within, the Atta Dipa. And we can go there anytime. We enter this refuge within first by slowing down. We stop rushing and we stop. We come back to ourselves in the present moment with mindful breathing. We breathe in and out, and we feel the air entering our body, entering our lungs. We can become aware of our abdomen rising and falling. We reconnect with our body, and in this way, we can become aware of any tension in our body. With the out breath, we can release the tension and relax. This means that with mindful breathing, we can create a place of relaxation and a refuge in ourselves, and experience peace in the present moment. When we practice like this, it will be so much easier to let go of our worries, anxieties, and regrets coming from the past and the future. We will discover that it will always be possible to keep this inner place of refuge open. It will never be closed or locked. The ocean of suffering cannot dissolve or destroy this island within ourself. With one in-breath and out-breath, we have come back to ourself, to our island, and we take refuge in this island. The Buddha called it Atta Dipa Saranam. I go for refuge to the island within myself. And we can take refuge in this island, this quiet place within ourselves, whenever we want. Let us remember also Mother Earth. She is our cosmic home. She is there for us. And we know how important our love for Mother Earth is now. how important it is to protect her beautiful resources of minerals, the water, and the air that we breathe. And when we protect Mother Earth, we will also be protecting ourselves at the same time. And Thai has said in his book called The Love Letter to the Earth, every time I lose touch with myself or I am lost in forgetfulness, I know I can come back to you, Mother Earth. Touching you, I find a refuge. I can reestablish my peace and regain my joy and self-confidence. We practice in this way, in taking refuge in Mother Earth, for ourselves and for all children who are being born, to give them a place of refuge now and in the future. We know that baby Jesus was born as a refugee in a humble setting in Bethlehem. We remember that Mary and Joseph were traveling to the town of Bethlehem and could not find a place to stay at any inn. All the rooms were already taken by so many people arriving at the same time. So they were shown a stable where they could sleep, and baby Jesus was born in that stable in Bethlehem. The only place of refuge for his birth was a stable. There is a beautiful oratorio, a musical composition for solo voices, chorus, and chamber orchestra, composed by the German-born Baroque composer Georg Friedrich Handel in the 17th century. It is called The Messiah, and it tells the story of Jesus' life set to music. I don't know how many people here have heard The Messiah. I don't know if it's reached this part of the continent of Europe, but in some places I know it has. And it's a very wonderful spiritual experience to listen to this oratorio. It was first performed in Dublin, Ireland, in the year 1742. Though we know that Georg Handel lived for most of his life in London. Throughout my life, before this life, with the brown robe, as I was growing up in a large city, I loved listening to it many, many times, especially at Christmas and Easter. It was the source for me to learn about the Bible. And I recommend everyone, if you wish, to listen to this oratorio. It's optional, and it's available online. There is a chorus from the Messiah taken from the book of Isaiah that says, "Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given. And the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." We know that the Buddha was born as a prince. He was Prince Siddhartha. He left his palace, his father the king, King Suddhodana, his mother Gotami, the royal family, and his wife and son to find the answer. Why is there suffering? And how to end this suffering? Prince Siddhartha was successful. He was very successful in his spiritual journey, and he became the enlightened Buddha. He practiced well, and he transmitted the mindfulness practices that we do today. He taught his disciples and the lay people in ancient India. The Buddha inspired many people, so many people in his time, as he walked throughout India, giving teachings to the lay people, the monks and nuns, and spiritual seekers in other traditions. He created sanghas wherever he went. And he knew the value and importance of practicing together as a community, as a sangha. As the continuation of the Buddha, Tai, our teacher, has also done the same thing throughout his teaching career. Thanks to Tai, we have Plum Village and our other practice centers around the world. And thanks to all of you, there are local practice centers in almost every country on this planet Earth. So during this week, we are fulfilling the teachings because we are practicing together as a sangha, and we are living together and practicing mindfulness together to create peace and happiness. Let us enjoy our breathing as we listen to a sound of the bell, coming back to that island within ourselves. The Prince of Peace, as Jesus was named, was later called and known as the Son of God and the Son of Man. And Prince Siddhartha, who was later known as the Buddha, both gave the message of the importance of love. Their teachings were the teachings of love, compassion, understanding, and peace. Christmas is a time for us to express our love and to be together in a joyful way. We come home to our loved ones, we're with our sangha, and we come home to ourselves to renew our love and understanding. A Christian friend recently shared with me that for her, the message of Christmas is to open our heart, to open the door of our heart, and to receive and accept everyone. It's a time for giving and receiving. This experience of generosity does not have to include material objects. We can give a smile, a gentle look, do a simple action that will transmit the energy of spiritual love during this holy season. We know that there are many children now in the world who are refugees. UNICEF has given us the total number of people who are refugees, having left countries in the Middle East where there is war and conflict since the year 2011. The total number reported is 4.69 million people. And children make up more than 51% of the refugee population. So that is 2.4 million children. In the year 2015, more than 500,000 people have crossed the Mediterranean Sea seeking asylum in Western Europe, and not all of them made it. We know that there are children in Vietnam and in India and other countries who also need the love and support. So we ask, how can we love and support them? We know that Suko Chung Kang started the Love and Understanding program in Vietnam, which has been active for more than the past 30 years, offering children classroom education, meals, teachers who are paid, bursaries or scholarship to university students, assistance to the elderly and handicapped, and relief to the victims of the monsoon floods each year in Vietnam. We know that Suko Chung Kang is a great bodhisattva. She has a heart of love, the mind of love. We can help others by supporting the program she has established, because we know the children whom we help are the future of this planet. When we come back to ourselves, we may recognize that we still have a little child in us. The natural child in us is very curious and open, very open to life. He or she loves to discover things, loves to be in nature. Our natural child is warm and affectionate, pure and innocent. But she can also have some suffering. Maybe the little child in us has a special wish, a secret wish, hoping that it will someday be fulfilled. Maybe we have some sadness and sorrow in us. Maybe the little girl or the little boy in us is sad. Perhaps because we didn't have enough time with mommy and daddy, or mommy and daddy's attention was given to other siblings in the family, other brothers and sisters, or that now, maybe that we're grown up, maybe our partner is not as loving as before. And the little child in us feels that. Or maybe there's a lot of anger where we're living. Well, we know we can heal this pain in us with some practices that Thai has given us. So we'd like to briefly offer these practices for children and the little child in each of us. And I think all of us know these practices, but I'll introduce them in language for children. We know we have some children here this week. So, the first thing for the child in us and children is make time to be with yourself each day. Spend time with the little one in you. Go to a quiet place and see the wonders of life and the beauties of nature surrounding you. This is very nourishing and healing. And do you know what I do? I walk. I go outside as often as I can, and I just take little walks. And that's a way I can be with myself, because so far no one has run after me with something, a question. It's a nice thing to do, to be with yourself. Be in nature and enjoy walking. Doesn't have to be long. 5 or 10 minutes is usually enough. For children, we can say that we want to offer them 4 beautiful gifts. We can say we will offer them 4 breaths. 4 breaths. And we say to the children, the gifts we give you, they're not wrapped. You don't have to unwrap it. There's no ribbon. You don't have to untie the ribbon on this gift of the breath. And you can start using it right away. The first gift is breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. I feel my in-breath and my out-breath. Second breath. Breathing in, I follow my breath from the beginning to the end. The way children love to follow butterflies. But unfortunately, we don't see too many butterflies now because of climate change and all of that. But if you see a butterfly, it's nice to follow a butterfly. You follow the flight pattern of a butterfly. And I remember in one of Thai's Dharma talks, he said, butterflies never collide. They never collide. They dance around each other. So, second breathing gift, I follow my breath from the beginning until my breath becomes out-breath. Third breathing gift, breathing in, I'm aware of my body. I'm aware how my body feels. If I feel tension or tightness. And the fourth breathing gift is breathing in and breathing out, I relax my body. So, very simple breathing exercises we can give to children as little presents, little gifts. And it's nice when we practice with them. When strong feelings come up, usually children don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to handle their strong feelings, and sometimes they can become overwhelmed. So that's true for us as well. When we have a wounded child in us, the little child that suffered a lot is a very young person. And there was no one to help us learn how to handle these feelings. So at this time, if you see little children needing some support, and if you need support, we can say this. Breathing in, I'm aware of this feeling. It could be the feeling of sadness, anger, or anxiety or fear. Breathing out, I'm embracing and accepting this feeling. Breathing in, I know it will be okay. Breathing out, I'm calming this feeling. Another little practice you can offer to the child in you is to say, breathing in, may I be peaceful. Breathing out, may I be happy. Breathing in, may I be light in my body. Breathing out, may I be light in my mind. May I be light and happy. Another practice for the inner child in us, as I mentioned, was walking meditation. We can walk with our children and let them know that when we walk outside, and we will know this too, we're surrounded by all the friends that we didn't know we had. That is the trees, the green grass, the fresh air, the dewdrops on the branches, the earth, the birds in the trees, and even the rain, which is starting to fall. These are all our friends. Each step can bring us peace, stability, freedom, and healing. The more time that we spend walking on Mother Earth, the more and the easier it is to be healed and have more peace. We can say to Mother Earth, "Oh, beautiful Mother Earth, what beautiful green hair you have. With each step, I see the dewdrops glistening in your hair like tiny sparkling stars and diamonds. How beautiful you are, Mother Earth." So this is language for real children and also for the child in us. When we love Mother Earth and care for her, we nourish our capacity to love. But when we try to describe the love we feel, we find it is difficult. We really can't describe love fully with words. If we have experienced love, we know what it is. It's like trying to describe an orange. We know what an orange is if we have the experience of tasting an orange. Otherwise, it's hard to describe an orange. We don't have the experience of the orange unless we taste the orange. And it's the same with love. There are many kinds of love. Parental love, love of children for their parents, which is called filial piety. There's friendship, brotherhood and sisterhood, the love of people, animals, plants, and minerals that the children in Plum Village learn about in the summer retreat. There is romantic love. There is conjugal love. There is the love of the teacher and the student. There is the love of the master and disciple. And there is the love of God. Thay has said that love is powerful and can heal and transform us. When love has entered our life, we change. And instead of being someone who is angry and scared, we change and we become more loving, friendly, open, and accepting. In the Vietnamese tradition and language, there are 2 words for love. The first word is tin. And in the beginning of a relationship, this is the kind of love that's usually present. It's romantic. As the 2 people share their life together over some time, this love changes into another kind of love, and it's called nghĩa. And this love is more calm. There is more understanding in this form of love. Because you have stayed together so long, you've shared your difficulties, you've gone through challenges over time, and your love has matured and it has deepened. So Buddha and Jesus both realized the importance of love and gave very deep teachings on love during their lifetime. For the Buddha, in the Discourse on Love, he said, "Let love be boundless, limitless. Let our boundless love pervade the whole universe, above, below, and across, in the 10 directions. Let our love know no obstacles." When we love in this way, universally, our love will be so wonderful and our heart will be free from hatred and enmity. So we offer our goodwill to everyone. We really want to cultivate this love in our hearts, and it's possible. There is a love meditation that Thay has written, which is based on the teachings by the meditation master Buddhaghosa, who wrote the Visuddhi Marga, the path of purification. And I will offer just a few of the sentences now. This love meditation is in the Plum Village chanting book, also in the French Plum Village chanting book. So why don't we close our eyes and we can just do this very brief, only 3 sentences or 4 sentences. It won't be the whole meditation. I encourage you to find the whole love meditation and practice it as a guided meditation for yourself. So there are 3 aspects to this meditation, just like the 3 aspects of our chant to Avalokita Shvara today. First, we'll offer this love to ourselves. And then we can offer to someone we love. And then the 3rd application, 3 applications, we offer it to someone with whom we are having difficulties. Or we can offer it to a country where there is extreme suffering and war. So it has many applications. So let us sit comfortably. It'll be very short. But just so we have an experience of this. May I be happy, peaceful, and light in my body and mind. offer this loving thought to another person or to a situation in the world. Saying, may you be happy, or may they be happy. May I learn to look at myself with eyes of understanding and love. May I learn to identify and see the sources of suffering in myself. May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in myself each day. We can begin to understand our suffering by looking for the causes or contributing factors. We know that the 5 mindfulness trainings and the Noble Eightfold Path will give us some preliminary ideas of the sources of our suffering. Our suffering may have as its roots our views, our perceptions, our misperceptions, our way of thinking, speaking, and acting. When we're able to understand there is a way out of our suffering, and with understanding we can have compassion for ourselves and for the other person and people. And then forgiveness is possible. We want to cultivate the mind of love, the mind of a bodhisattva who is ready and capable of helping others based on his or her experiencing of helping themselves with suffering and then being able to help others with similar situations of suffering. We know the 5 mindfulness trainings begin with the phrase, aware of the suffering caused. So we know that there are 5 areas of life, that the 5 mindfulness trainings go very deeply into letting us know what are possible causes of our suffering, and then the ways we can practice to end the suffering and bring happiness. So the 5 mindfulness trainings give us the ways of practicing to be happy. We start with the phrase, aware of the suffering caused by, I am determined to think in a different way, to act in a different way, and to speak in a different way. So we know we'll learn ways to respect life and prevent killing. We know we'll be able to be there for people and share our time, energy, and material resources with others. And we will not support exploitation, social injustice, or oppression. And we'll be able to realize true happiness when we see that already we have enough conditions to be happy. And we will learn how to preserve our love relationships with a long-term commitment. And by practicing loving kindness, compassion, joy, and inclusiveness. And we will learn how to listen deeply to others and learn how to speak lovingly. And finally, we will know how to consume mindfully and protect our body and mind with consuming only wholesome nutriments. Many years ago, a Swedish filmmaker came to Plum Village, and he asked Thai this question. If Jesus and Buddha met today, what do you think they would say to each other? Thai wrote a book. And the book is called Coming Home, Jesus and Buddha as Brothers. It's a good book. In that book, Buddha asked Jesus this question. Jesus, is it too difficult to continue in this time of ours? Is it more difficult to be courageous and to love than it was in the old time? We know that Jesus had a great capacity for loving, healing, and forgiving. In the book, it was acknowledged that both Buddha and Jesus and their followers would agree to help one another. So I encourage everyone to read the book to learn more. There. Now, this afternoon, I'd like to have us imagine that Jesus and Buddha have met again, right here, right now. And they want to continue their dialogue about how to share their teachings. So please permit me, and perhaps please excuse me when I offer you some possibilities of a dialogue that they may have. So perhaps Jesus says to Buddha now, "Most respected Buddha, the fully enlightened one, my elder brother, you are 500 years older than me, and you have so much more experience in the practice. I feel so fortunate to have such an elder, enlightened brother. Do you have any teachings on love that would be helpful for people now in our modern world? Because we see so much suffering in the form of violence and hatred, discrimination and injustice. Do you have teachings for people, whether they are married, single, have children, families, whether they are teenagers or monks and nuns?" The Buddha answered Jesus with this. "Yes, I do. I have teachings on love, and they are called the 4 immeasurable minds, and they contain 4 elements of true love. And my continuation, the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, or Thai, has added 4 more elements to love, and they are called the 4 mantras. Please allow me to share with you now what they are. So the 4 immeasurable minds, immeasurable because love is immeasurable, are 1, Maitri, loving kindness, the essence of friendship, the intention and the capacity to bring happiness to others. The second is compassion, karuna, the intention and the capacity to remove the suffering of others. The third, the limitless mind, is joy, mudita, the intention and the capacity to bring joy to another, and be joyful with others' good luck without jealousy. And the fourth is equanimity, upeksha, non-discrimination, inclusiveness, and a balanced mind where you don't take sides. So the Buddha continued, loving kindness or maitri wants to bring happiness to others. So we say to people around us, I know you are there and I am happy. This is the first mantra that Thai has written for us to pronounce to our loved ones. Compassion, karuna, wants to remove the suffering of others. So we can say, I know that you suffer. That is why I am here for you. This is another mantra that Thai has given us to say to someone when he or she needs our love and support. Joy in mudita is what we feel when we learn of the other person's talents, opportunities, and success. There is no jealousy or envy with this aspect of love. We say, I am here for you. This is another mantra that Thai has written for us to declare to our loved ones. I am here to share your joy with you. Sometimes in love, there is such joy and so much energy in us that we feel we can dance all night with the stars. We can dance from midnight until the sun rises. In French, we may say, maybe, nous avons le pouvoir de patiner autour des étoiles. We can dance around, skate around the stars. We have so much joy and energy with some kind of love, romantic love. At other times in love, what is called for is to gently be with the experience in mindfulness and let the mystery of this experience unfold in its silent beauty. These experiences of love can come up from the past, and they can be fully felt and known in the present moment. For example, maybe there's someone we meet in the present moment in our daily life, and maybe he or she reminds us so much of important people in our lives in the past, maybe as children. So we feel fully that experience from the past with other people. The past manifests in the present moment, and we know that the future is created by how we handle the present moment. The past and the future converge in the present moment. That is why the present moment is so important for us. The last aspect of love is equanimity or upeksha, equality, balance, non-discrimination, not taking sides, and inclusiveness. Our heart is open and it has become large. I will listen to you without judging or reacting. When someone has equanimity, you know you can go to that person and utter the final mantra that Thai has given us to share with the other. And that is, I suffer. Please help. This compassionate, stable person whom you have chosen to listen to you agrees and is showing the mantra, I am here for you. He or she is fully present. Please share your deepest feelings, your situation of suffering, and I will listen to you wholeheartedly with equanimity and non-discrimination. People in our lives may already be saying, I am here for you, in different ways. In our communities, someone may be saying, hello, good morning, or how are you? When I was a novice, many years ago, a long time ago, during the first months after my ordination, I was still adjusting to many new aspects of life here. First of all, there was community living. I had always lived alone, and now I was faced with adjusting to living with a lot of people. Also, I was living in France, in a Vietnamese community with new cuisine, 2 languages I did not speak well, and wondering, how can I become a nun? I did not know how to be a nun. So many things were unknown and brand new to me. And also I was new in the practice, and my mindfulness was new and not very stable or strong. So I had frequent ups and downs, and they appeared as waves. Thoughts in my mind, such as, I'm gonna leave, no stay. I'm gonna leave, no stay. I'm gonna leave, no, I'm staying. Or, I'm scared, escape. Scared, escape. So this was a long time ago. Now I'm very happy to say that novices don't have to go through this. In fact, we recently had an ordination 10 days ago in Plum Village. 17 brothers and sisters were ordained as novices, 17. And a day later in Thailand, where Thai is, 33 were ordained. So that's a total of 50 novices. And their life is much happier and calmer now. Some are young enough to be under the 5-year program. And if you're too old for that, then I've just decided to call the other possibility the 50-year program. And you stay. Let us enjoy our breathing as we come back to ourselves. So we continue to listen to the dialogue that the Buddha and Jesus are having this evening. Now the Buddha says to Jesus, Jesus, you, Son of God and Son of Man, you brought light into the world, and also the message that love is possible. Please, would you share your teachings on love? Jesus said, my teachings on love are found in the New Testament of the Bible. And I use the Greek word agape to mean love. This is the great love, the love of God. And it is the highest and the purest kind of love. It seeks the good of those whom we are called to love. It never gives up, and it never abandons anyone. It is unconditional love. It gives without demanding anything in return. It is given to the unlovable. It gives because it loves. It doesn't love in order to receive. And Jesus continued, I have said to my disciples, love one another as I have loved you. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemies and do good to those who harm you. And to my disciples I have said, love one another, so that when people see you love one another, they will know that you are my disciples. And Jesus continued, there's another word for love that I use, and it's called philos, the Greek word philos. This kind of love is expressed through friendship, through brotherhood and sisterhood. We help our brothers and sisters kindly and patiently and lovingly progress on the path of practice. It is very personal and like a deep and abiding friendship. And then Jesus said there are also two other kinds of love, a family love between parent and children and other family members. This is called storge. I'm not sure I pronounce it correctly, but storge. And then there is eros, which is romantic love. So we know that Buddha and Jesus brought love, compassion, and understanding and peace to the world. So let us continue in the footsteps of Buddha, Jesus, and Thai to create peace and healing in ourselves, our loved ones, our Sangha, communities, and Mother Earth with our love, understanding, and compassion. Thai has written, life is our true home. Our true home is the present moment, and we will be there to embrace, to love, and to transform the suffering and bring joy and happiness to all people and Mother Earth, creating a true home for all sentient beings right here and right now. Dear friends, Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noël, Yangsen, Vui Ve, and Chala Christuñana, Greek. I'd like to thank many in the Sangha who contributed to this talk this afternoon in so many ways. It's been an offering from the Sangha. Thank you everyone for listening.